Time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is Tuesday. Time for John and Wayne show. It's the NFL's Red Wedding Day. Wayne, I know you're a Game of Thrones guy, so like
greatest episode of all time, yo.
Oh, it hurt, man.
By far, the greatest episode of any TV series of all time. Red Wedding.
Yeah, I just remember watching it and needing therapy after. And that's where we're at with the Niners and really the entire NFL. The Niners have announced the fewest cuts thus far. We will be continuing to refresh all of those. All the cuts have to be in by 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So as we are going through this, those are going to start coming through. So we got a lot of stuff to get through. We're going to talk through cuts. We're going to talk through kickers. We're going to talk through, are there any players that have been released that you think could be a practice squad or back-end roster addition? We're going to talk Bosa. We're going to talk 49ers rookies. And we're going to go worst to first. We've got a lot to get to, Wade. But real quick, it's been too long since we've been together, my friend.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the state of the 49ers as opposed to, a little over a week ago when we talked? How are you feeling about things?
Well, I mean, I would be lying if I say that I like the way that they've been handling things. I don't. But I do understand that, at the end of the day, this is my team. This is the team that I choose to support, and I have to rock out and trust that they're making the best decisions. So we ended up trading a former first-round pick that we gave up a lot of capital for. They decided to move on and go in a different direction. And so, look, who am I to say that they shouldn't, right? But at the end of the day, I'm hoping it's what's best for the team. And right now, honestly, John, the only thing that's worrying me is the fact that Nick Bosa still hasn't reported to camp. And so, it's strange. It's a little strange because it's getting a little later. Countdown is ticking.
Yeah, it is. Shout out to Debbie Ryan, the absolute best. We had the wonderful privilege of having lunch with her the other day, which was awesome. She says, good morning, Wayne and John. Blessings to everyone on the show. Please remember, hit the like, hashtag BB. That's right, the Breezy Brunch, and hashtag CC, the Countdown Crew. That's what's up, man. Yeah, it's been weird. Now, a couple things that I wanted to kind of bracket this episode with is just a real quick explanation on cuts, because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there. Because when players are cut, they go one of two ways. It's almost like a flow chart, right? Any player with less than 4 accrued season goes to waivers. And that is the exact same draft order based on worst record to first. That's who gets to claim them first. So the 49ers, being in the NFC Championship, they're at the very far back end, 29th, in fact. Now, the flip side, if a player has 4 or more accrued seasons, they're a free agent. They can sign with whoever they want. So whenever you see these players get cut, free agents have a better chance of going with the 49ers than the undrafted rookies and all those different types of things. PUP players, there's only one player for the 49ers that will be a PUP candidate. That is Darrell Luter Jr. He will not count against the 53 and will have to miss the minimum 4 games before he can come back. And so we'll see there. So just keep those things in mind. In the 16-person practice squad, 10 have to be young pups, 2 or less accrued seasons. 6 can be free agents or veteran free agents.
I thought it was 17.
So, yeah, there's been people out there putting 17. The correct answer is 16. Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I thought it was 7. I thought it was 7 vets and 10 young pups.
Yeah, I looked it up this morning on the NFL site, and I found 16. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time.
If it's on the NFL site, then there it is. There it is.
But yeah, there's all, they change it every year, which I do like that they are always changing things.
Yeah, they're always looking to improve or kind of make amends to certain things. So I agree. Hey, look, it's a lot of stuff that's about to go down, and Darrell Luter Jr., I agree. He's going to start the season on the PUP. You could put more than one player on the PUP, though.
But they have to start on the PUP at training camp to be on the PUP at this point. So the only two players that would have been eligible was Mitch Wisnowski and Darrell Luter Jr., but Wisnowski came off. So, like, the players that are injured
Is
now.
that true? Jimmy Ward didn't start camp on the PUP.
Yeah, and he was on the 53 and then went straight to IR afterwards.
I'm trying to think last year who was on the PUP and then remained on the PUP I think it was Jason Verrett was one of them.
Yeah, Jason Verrett was one. The NFI is the exact same thing as PUP. Just
right, that was Kalia Davis.
Kalia Davis was on that.
Okay, so you're right. You got it.
Let's see here. I'm looking up real quick because I want to make sure. My biggest thing is I don't want to put misinformation out there. And I'm looking at the roster last year. Jimmy Ward was on the active roster.
Okay, and then he got hurt during camp.
He made the roster injured right beforehand.
Right,
but because he didn't start camp on PUP,
correct,
you can't go on PUP as a free player because PUP doesn't count against the 53, and that's what's huge.
And that's what's huge. So you'll get one of our fifth round draft picks will be on the PUP, and then they can put him on the PUP again, and he still won't count against the roster, I believe, if he goes double PUP, which is 8 weeks.
That's the way to explain it for me from now forward. Double PUP, baby. There we go. That you nailed it. Now, Wayne, let's talk kickers. Okay, Diana Rossini of The Athletic, who she was all over the Trey Lance trade. She's the one that found out which teams offered and which teams didn't. She came out and just tweeted a few hours ago, the 49ers are reaching out to teams to trade for a kicker.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about this?
I mean, we don't have a healthy kicker. I don't look at it any further than that. I mean, according to the injury reports, Jake Moody has a quad strain, and the other guy has a freaking hamstring issue. So Gonzalez. So they're currently injured, sort of, kind of. One's listed day to day, and Jake Moody, and so I think the 49ers are willing to kind of they're not. The 49ers with the Nick Bosa situation kind of helps in a way to bring an extra player to stash because he's failed to report. So he'll go on that particular list. So he won't count against the cap. So this might allow the Niners to keep one of those kickers and just allow them to get healthy. And then you go and either sign a free agent kicker. I don't think they should trade for a kicker. I don't think they should trade for a kicker unless they're definitely going to cut the two kickers that they have. That would be my only thing. Like, if you're going to cut the two guys, then go and trade and get the kicker you want. But we've seen some good kickers get traded for today, and the Niners weren't in on those guys. And so, they
were going to be. Whenever they announced that trade for Will Lutz, I was like,
bro, you just took the words right out of my mouth. Right. Yeah. And so that's kind of like what I'm like if the Niners were in on it and then the offer wasn't substantial enough for the Saints or whatever, then okay. But they're clearly looking for someone to kick. I mean, they brought in two kickers yesterday to work, and Tristan Vizcaino and the other kid that played in the XFL. So they're clearly looking for a healthy option.
Taylor Russolino.
That's a dope ass last name. It
is.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you could spend $7 million and just go get Robbie Gold. If you're looking for your kicker, go get the kicker. Robbie Gold.
I'm different. I don't want to spend another penny. I don't want
to spend
another resource. If you get Robbie Gold, you got to pay him top tier money. And
$8 million.
You're going to cut him. Whatever.
No. You're not cutting him. If you sign Robbie Gold, which I don't,
Robbie Gold,
bro. If we get Robbie Gold, which is probably going to be $7 to $8 million this year, right?
God,
then
no, man.
Jake Moody's going on the IR for this. Like.
Why don't you just get a kicker off the street for 1 week?
No, this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And
right
then
there.
Jake Moody comes back. Like I'm the least excited about the Jake Moody pick, but the dude can kick.
That is the most logical thing to do. But
You
the San
can't
Francisco,
put more resources to the kicker position,
which means
man.
you're willing to trade draft picks or a player. I know we have an abundance of players. I get it. But I'm not trading for a kicker.
No.
We already did that. And he has a hamstring injury.
We've already traded for a kicker this offseason.
And
We've
we
already spent
drafted.
the second highest pick on a kicker the past decade in the NFL, and we're still in need of kicker help.
But I'm not worried about the 49ers kicker situation. For some reason I'm just not.
I just don't care about I care about kickers. Kickers are people too.
Okay,
but the
make sure you clear
replacement
it up.
level,
Yeah.
if you don't have a top 2 or 3 kicker, everybody's the same. Everybody's the same.
But the crazy thing is, okay, look, I get your theory. I mean, I get why you're upset that we drafted a kicker in the 3rd round with technically a free pick. It was a compensatory pick. Like at the end of the day, it's a free pick. And I feel like people don't understand because they just see 3rd round.
Kyle called it a 4th rounder, which I thought was hilarious.
Which it is a 4th round pick. Think about it. And look at the you did a dope exercise the other day about 4th round picks with Kyle Shanahan, and they don't typically pan out.
Yeah, they were
right?
bad.
And I talked about it yesterday on my episode, and I was saying to myself, wait a minute, we traded Trey Lance for a 4th round pick. How's that going to fly? And then I thought about it. Technically, Jake Moody was a 4th round pick. Ambry Thomas was a 4th round pick. If we technically break it down, and I'm not saying Ambry won't make the roster or pan out, but it's something about this 4th round that's just not faring well. Now, Spencer Burford may be the only bright side. I don't even like Mitch Wishnowsky.
I like Mitch Wishnowsky as a punter, but not as a 4th rounder.
He's just weird, man. Like, he started off hot, and then now he's just kind of cooled down a lot.
Yeah,
it's not because he's missing kicks.
10 range punter. Like,
okay,
like
top 5 or 10?
Yeah, 5 to 10.
Okay.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But don't draft and then, whatever else. Bradley Pinion's still kicking in the NFL. They're replacement level players. I think a lot of it. My whole issue is just stop spending resources on these positions that are not panning out.
But I don't think, John, that they don't know that the whole thing about the draft is you're drafting players that you feel will pan out. But it's at the end of the day, it's still a risk. It's still a gamble. And so
I do think the Niners' philosophy on drafting is tiered.
Yes.
I think Kyle Shanahan sees 1st, 2nd, 3rd round picks as the same. Compensatory 3rd round picks he sees as 4th, 5th, 6th round, and he don't give a damn right there. And that's why
if they hit, they hit, and if they miss, oh well. And when I say free pick, I don't mean we didn't give up something to get it. I know we lost coaches that became executives. Congratulations to them. But when I say free pick, literally, it's house money. It wasn't theirs to begin with, and then they gather it, they use it, they spend it, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't,
another kicker trade, not us. Thank God.
Whew, God, you scared me.
The Patriots traded Nick Folk to the Titans.
Now, I thought he would be the kicker we trade for as well. I didn't even know Will Lutz was available until the trade went down. I thought Nick Folk was going to be the guy. Clearly, the Niners aren't they're not looking to trade. They're looking to see who's going to get released, and then they'll go shop on that waiver wire. Not every team needs a kicker, so the first position that might become available for the 49ers to clear the waiver wire, the kicker.
There we go. Carter, he says, first time live. What does #CC mean?
Hey!
Countdown Crew. So that's an algorithm. When you log into a live show, you do #CC, enters you into giveaways, which we're currently giving away a free Nick Bosa jersey.
Don't worry, you won't get it anytime because he's not signing.
The whole point of the giveaway was once he signs, we're going to give this away, but that's a whole other thing. We'll get into that later. But that's what that is. And when you're on Wayne's show, which the description of this video podcast, the very first link is how you find Wayne Breezy's show. We go live on his show Thursday or Friday every week. You do #BB Breezy Bunch on his show. It's a free way to help the algorithm out so our show channels get recommended more, and it enters you into giveaways and just an easy way to support. So that's what that is. We got a super chat from Gammon Brown. Wayne, you want to take this one?
We be gammon. I wanted to let the air out of George R. Martin's tires in a Target parking lot after seeing The Red Wedding. Justice for Rob. I'm about to cry because that wasn't supposed to go down that way.
Oh, it was so bad. That was so bad. Back to the Red Wedding. For those of you that don't know, great show. Ending was mess.
Wait a minute. Can you keep it a buck with me? Did you see that coming?
No, nobody did.
What? You can't tell me the writing to that show. I understand
incredible.
it tapered off toward the end of the series, but the writing to that show was just superb. It took me a minute to get through season 1. I had to get comfortable with certain episodes, but I'm telling you, once I got comfortable, woo!
Tyrion, still my favorite character of almost
Hands
all time.
down.
He's incredible.
Hands down.
Nate, what's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. Made another live. See a Niner content goats. I appreciate that.
I
That's
appreciate
very, very
that.
kind of you.
Hey, John, let's talk about the goats because we got goated out on Twitter the other day, and I was just happy to be first on a list. I like when I saw my name first as being like the most fake 49er content creator out there, I was just like, well, at least I made a list. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
I tried to find a way to be the best John Chapman I can be, and reflect back with positive energy. But let me tell you though, when I started typing the tweet, John, it was very
somebody
negative.
called us out, and it was us and a whole list of other creators. I don't want to talk about I don't know. It was just making fun of us and whatever. And so I think I responded with, there's a lot of creators out there.
Yeah, that was the corny way.
Something, whatever. But yeah. Wayne was ready to East Coast him. I already know it.
Listen, I'm telling you, was fired up. And then I saw your comment, and I was like, delete. And I was like, well, at least I made it first on somebody's list.
Man, those people, they just want a reaction. And so I never really want to give them the reaction they want.
Smart.
But I don't know. That's my thing. But whatever. Trey. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Love the picture there with the kiddo. He says, does 97 play week 1 if he signed this week?
Oh, hands down. He's playing week 1. If he signs the day before the game, he's playing.
I am saying, though, and I saw this. I don't know who put it out there. Dang it. I want to give credit to who it was. But we're entering pitch count territory where the longer this takes, the less and less likely he's going to play the full game. And that's a problem. This Steelers game is not an easy game.
No, and my biggest concern, not gripe, but my biggest concern with Nick Bosa just not even being in the facility is the fact that these soft tissue, this is when you're accessible to like these soft tissue type of injuries, right? Not ACL tears and things like that. I mean, I get that. Those are freak injuries. They happen when they're supposed to happen. Like they're going to happen when they're ready to happen. But I'm just talking about like the knick-knack stuff, like the hamstrings and little things like that. And so, yeah, he's going to come into camp like tip top, chiseled.
Yes.
Nick Bosa shape,
like John Chapman with his shirt off out there.
You know what I'm saying? The Terminator. But once he starts banging out there and getting hit with stray legs and
that's what
things,
you need.
Yeah, his
Montana,
body will go through the condition.
Exactly. Sorry. Bro Montana says, I think Bosa will be ready week 1. If he's not, what advantage do the Niners have over the Steelers?
Ooh. Here's my thing. The Niners could beat the Steelers if they just keep that quick game going. Keep that defense on the field, keep long drives, sustainable drives, and find ways to score 7. Bump that 3 points.
J. Watt beat you.
That's it. That's it. Find a way to negate. You know what I would do? I would throw toward him. Make him chase you down, opposed to pass rushing. Force him to be in pass coverage. The Niners are a lot smarter than we think. This is what we watched in the preseason. This is what we know Kyle Shanahan is going to be game planning for. Look for an offensive game. Look for a red wedding in the Yellow City.
There we go. I like that. Oh, speaking of Yellow City, look at this super chat. Thank you so much. I don't want to mispronounce your name, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to. Quana. Awesome name. My name's John, which is very boring. Your name is incredible.
Or
Wana. There we go.
That would be dope too.
Been avidly watching football for 30 years. You develop a sense of kind of intuition. Football moves in cycles. Why do I feel like we're coming to the beginning of the end of a cycle in the 49ers' success? Hurts to read, man. Hurts to read. There's a lot of negativity. There's no doubt about that. All right. I think Wayne and I consider ourselves fans and positive people. It's hard to be positive at times currently, which sucks.
Well, the Niners are the number one dramatic football team in the NFL. Like
For
they
3 years in a row now.
I mean, they will make up the drama, and we have no choice but to watch it, right? We can't just change the channel because there's only one 49ers team. It's not like you can cut off the TV if you were watching Young and the Restless and then you wanted to switch to Days of Our Life. No. You have to watch. It's our team. So I'm hoping that drama gets tamed a lot and we could just get back to football. I think with solidifying your quarterback one, I think everybody realized that Brock Purdy should have been the guy. I think the issue was they felt like Trey Lance. I felt like Trey Lance just wasn't getting a fair type of shot, an equal type of shot. But how can he? My opposing question to that was like, how can he even have gotten in the game if Brock Purdy is continuing to do his thing? So it was never going to be what I expected it to be from him. And I hate to say it, but I'm glad the 49ers found a way to move on from that. Not saying he was a mistake, but they needed to move on from the quarterback controversy. I mean, first time it was Jimmy Garoppolo. Then it became Trey Lance and Brock, and hopefully it will never, ever be Sam Darnold and Brock. So, like, look, the Niners created a lot of the stuff, but they're trying to correct it. And so football starts in about a week and a half, and we can get to Pittsburgh and get a win. Get out of there with a win by any means necessary. I'll be ecstatic.
That's the thing I'm saying is you win, nothing else matters. It cures all. It is the ultimate, deodorant. Look at this comment from Mike C. He says Wayne can't be fake.
Ooh,
the way he gets up for those Madden replays. I've seen it in person, ladies and gentlemen. It is a sight to behold. And if you get in his way, choo-choo, man. That train's coming through. That's all I got to say.
I just don't like when shit don't make sense. And the Niners should be, like, even in Madden, stop making them look like trash. They don't play as bad in real life as they do in Madden. That's because Madden, the generator up there, just has the Niners rated low. Certain players rated low. So it's just crazy. I get upset. Johnny!
Yeah, the man. He says Bosa, number 97, plays if he signs 7 a.m. September 8th.
Is that Sunday morning? Sunday morning, rain is falling. Ooh. I got music for everything. Hey, Johnny, if you ever send me a picture of ribs again, bro, I will block you from my cell phone. I don't even know how to do that.
I'll tell you what, man. Johnny's a Southern guy, so he
super Southern, bro. I mean, the ribs look sticky, icky.
Man, I love it. Now, I will say this, and I want to kind of go back to this whole thing. Winning cures everything. And, I wasn't planning on going here, but now we're in this territory of Harbaugh and Shanahan, both of which 3 NFC championships in 4 years, 1 Super Bowl appearance. What would it take? I wouldn't plan on going here, but the conversations, I feel like this is a healthy conversation. What needs to happen for Shanahan to finally move past Harbaugh? Because their resumes are pretty much identical at this point.
I mean, he has to win a Super Bowl, man. I mean, he has to.
Harbaugh didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Harbaugh didn't get as many opportunities as Kyle Shanahan neither. I mean, like, he was beefing with Trent Baalke. Jed York was being a little meech.
Yeah, there ain't nobody for Kyle to beef with but Kyle. Kyle is
he's everything. Everything, the end all be all. Like, people be like, well, they can't get rid of John Lynch. Sure they can. Like, Kyle literally is. Kyle hired John, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if y'all remembered. I know they announced the hiring of John first, but Kyle made that happen. So, like, at the end of the day, like, he is the guy that, like, says it and ends it and starts with him. So
yes. Oh, what's up? We got Big Papa in the chat. I had an awesome time hanging out with Big Papa and David. We got tickets together. We were able to sit together for the preseason game. Had a blast. Thank you, brother. That was a lot of fun. Oh, look at Tim Ford. Tim is a good man. Tim beat me in fantasy football one time in a super flex league without a quarterback. That is factually correct, and I cried, and I quit the league. Tim is the man. He says, can't wait to party in Pittsburgh. Who's all coming out? Wayne's coming out.
I'll be there.
John Chapman's coming out.
He'll be there.
I mean, we got, I think Brad Graham's coming out. Crocker's coming out. BD Peacock's coming out. We are going to have an unreal party in Pittsburgh. So we've got a couple things going on. Oh, I got to pull that comment down. Otherwise, it looks really, really weird. So the night before party, we're going to be at McFadden's in Pittsburgh. Now, originally, we were from 6 to 9 p.m., but the deal that we got with the facility said we could take it over at 2. So we're going to be there from 2 to 9. We're just going to show up all day, and we're just going to hang out, which is an important day for me because just like Chicago last year, Texas played Alabama. You remember that, Wayne, in Chicago?
I sure do.
You remember the curse words? You remember all of it, I'm sure.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
So we're going to be posted up at McFadden's. Come out and hang out. Now, if you want to assure your ticket, because we have to rent out this venue, head to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. And then the day of the game, we have our tailgate. Less than 1 mile from the stadium, 3 blocks north. We have an entire parking lot reserved. We're going to have premium liquor, drinks, beer, food, Niners galore. It's going to be incredible. So, again, go get your tickets, 49ers Rush Road Trip. And if you can't make it to Pittsburgh, we got 12 other opportunities, man. So those are up. You can go over to the site. The tickets are available for all of them. And, Wayne, we haven't talked about this one together on the show. We're going to be partnering with the Frank Gore this year.
The inconvenient truth.
Ooh, he's the one that started it all for us.
Yes. This was before my time. So and I'm so excited I can be a part of the new wave of the Rush show. So I can't wait to get to the Rush road trip down, and it's going to be in Florida, right? Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville. He's going to be coming out the night before party. It's going to be awesome. Look at Matthew. He says, I'll be there. Dude, Matthew is the freaking man. He's such a good dude. He also asked, what is the official cut down time? The official cut down time is 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, but you just have to report that to the NFL. And as we've seen Kyle Shanahan do so many different times, he don't give a damn about timelines. He will literally submit that thing 30 seconds before the timeline and not tell anybody. Anything he can do to get some type of advantage. Yeah, it's what it is. Chuck, he says, does everyone think Lance would be out before Kyle? Let me say this, not because I think anybody should be fired. I don't believe that at all. I love this front office. Doesn't mean there's not criticisms. Shanahan, everything starts and ends with him. So there's no John Lynch without Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan is a lifer coach. How long he's here, I would hire him to a 10-year extension. Once we win a Super Bowl, and I hope we do, John Lynch will leave back to he's made it very well known he wants to go back to announcing. Is that what you agree with that, John Lynch? Yeah.
He passed up an opportunity for a substantial amount of money, but it's unfortunate. He decided to turn down that big amount of money to rock with the Niners. He wants to be here to help win a championship, and we've gotten so close. And I think if that was to happen, I think John would probably take a step back. Adam Peters would take a step up, and John would go back into broadcasting.
There we go. All right, let's do this. Look at this. Johnny says, all right, I think I'm driving down to Jacksonville now. That's what's up. Johnny, you said you're coming out to Seattle. I'll bring you the whole family. I want you to
that's going to be fun.
And then, yeah, man, Jacksonville.
He'll get to meet my oldest son, too. Well, if he comes to Seattle, he'll get to meet Talon out there. He'll be out there with us, helping us get stuff together. But, yeah, Jacksonville's going to be popping. I've never been to Jacksonville. I've been to Florida. But cool. Yeah, okay. Just have some fun.
It is the third largest city east of the Mississippi, which is weird to me.
I don't even know what that means, but I'll be there.
New York, Boston, then Jacksonville. Those are the largest populated.
Jacksonville's that big?
It's huge, man. It's
wow.
Huge. A lot of tribal tattoos.
That's Duval County? Tattoos. That's what we call
Duval. That's right, baby. That's right. All right. Oh, what's up? We got the man. What's up, Lee?
Yes, Lee.
Can't wait for Seattle. It'll be UK invasion. That's what's up, man. Anytime you get to hang out with Lee, he's such a good dude, man. Now, all right, let's do this. A lot of transactions have taken place across the NFL, Wayne. Are there any players who have been waived that kind of piqued your interest? Not necessarily that the Niners should claim them and put on the 53, but maybe some guys that could make our practice squad if they don't get claimed. Were there any names that popped up, or do you want me to go through some names that I thought were intriguing?
Yeah, as I was going through the release of the players that they waived, I didn't think. I mean, they brought in some vets, they brought in some people that they wanted to try out, and I think that's kind of where it was. And those will be guys that if they stay on the Niners' radar, if something was to happen or an opportunity was to open, I feel like those would be the guys that get the first calls back. But I'm curious to know which guys you feel that the Niners might keep their eye on.
I thought this one was interesting. The Broncos released Albert O.
Tight end.
I can't even say his last name.
Yeah, I just call him the tight end.
He's one of the most athletic tight ends in the NFL, like Kyle Pitts level athleticism. He had like 100+ yards and a touchdown in the last preseason game. I'm not sure I would take him over somebody like Braden Willis. I would take him over Cameron Law too, but that's a whole different story. That's one that I think is going to be interesting.
I thought you meant from the 49ers that they let go. I didn't know you meant overall throughout the whole league. Now
yeah.
There's some offensive linemen I felt like that were let go. We can probably pick up if he wanted to upgrade the depth or whatnot. But I don't know. The Niners again, guys that if they haven't accrued those 4 seasons, going to be hard to get, man, because we are 28th or 29th on that waiver. So it's going to be hard to get. Yeah, we have to definitely look more in the veteran, at least the 4 accrued season players that are going to be released that the 49ers can kind of like sign right away. It's going to be interesting to see which ones we waive or we cut. That's the difference. If we cut it, that means they've accrued those 4 seasons. If we waive them, they hit waivers. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's any of the ones that we have on our current team that we cut that we just already trying to give the head nod. Hey, man, we're going to cut you, but we're going to sign you. Like,
you need to cut it. Alberto says, will you guys be in LA week 2? I will not. The wifey said Pittsburgh or LA. It's always a negotiation with the boss. She's my Kyle Shanahan, which is weird. I wish I wouldn't have said that. But whatever. I can't make it out there. We've been out to LA the past 3 years in a row, so trying to spread it out a little bit amongst the cities. Sorry about that. I hate that. Now, what about Trent Taylor? The Niners, he's back. Great punt returner.
Ronnie Bell, man. Like, does Trent Taylor give you greater depth at the wide receiver spot? And that's the question you got to ask. Like, who would you rather see?
No system.
But he couldn't stay healthy in this system.
I agree. I don't want him as a wide receiver. I don't want to even sign him to the 53. If for some reason he doesn't land a spot, I would say, hey, Trent, we want you on the practice squad, but you're going to be our punt returner that we activate week 1, in week 2 until Ray comes back. Just because I don't want a rookie punt returner early in the season. I don't mind if Ronnie Bell's the kick returner. Punt return rookie scares the living crazy.
So yeah, I don't want Bell punt returning either. I want him. I don't know, man. I want Deshaun Jameson kick returning. I'm not going to. Yeah.
Same. And I want Ronnie Bell to be my wide receiver 4.
Period. That's it.
Yeah, like that. That's
right.
where I want him. Like, you focus on this.
Yes, and I think the Niners
this guy early.
I think the Niners are looking to do something like that because I think they're starting to see that they have more value in Bell to not utilize him in the special teams. Can he be that? Yes. But I really think he's going to be rotating with those wide receivers, especially if he upgrades in his blocking right away.
Yeah, there we go. Right here, Matthew says that Thursday night home opener against the Giants is going to be lit too. That game is so important. Like, it's weird. One, it's the home opener. It's a Thursday game, which kind of sucks. But I think that game is, you're finally going to figure out how good this Niners team is that Thursday. I'm excited about that. I just, Maria, if you've been to our tailgates, Maria shows up on Patreon.
I love Maria.
She's the best there is. She's going to be out helping us with that tailgate. And let me say this. If you're coming out to some of our tailgates, especially the home tailgates, we do need some extra help, and we will accommodate and pay accordingly for that. We need setup crew members. We did our trial run, which was awesome, but man, I want us to be efficient so we can get set up and spend more time partying and hanging out. So if you are somebody that can show up and be there early and help set up, reach out to me, 49ers Rush Podcast at gmail.com. We need some more hands, and we could definitely use some more people. Look at this. Johnny Dell looking like Jonathan Taylor to Miami. Heating up.
That offense is scary until they play the Niners. But
yeah,
For the rest of the league, that offense is scary. So here's the thing. So Matt Mayoko put out a tweet, and the 49ers hoped to be involved in all these kicker trades as a seller. They wanted to flip Zane Gonzalez for a pick, but Gonzalez is out for an extended period of time with a calf injury sustained in the Friday pregame warmups. I thought it was a hamstring, but now it's a calf. All right, so I had my information wrong, and I apologize.
There you go. The quad was Moody.
I said
calf
quad.
Was yeah, there we go. But yeah, so the trade they wanted to didn't work out, and I'll be honest, Zane Gonzalez was incredible all trading camp until he got injured.
But it was like a free pickup. You still drafted a kicker, and they were gonna try to flip it. It all made sense. That's why you didn't see him in the preseason.
If Jake Moody got hurt and Zane didn't, Niners looked like they aced this whole situation.
Yeah.
You didn't plan for both of them to get hurt.
Right.
JP, thanks for the super chat. He says, Seattle, I could help set up. Email me so I can get your information and we can kind of work through that.
Good brother.
You, JP. Looking forward to hanging out, man. That's what's up. So anyway, and we kind of need like a little bit of everything, especially for the Thursday night home opener. A big crew that we got coming out are coaches, and so they can't make it Thursday night because they're coaching other things. And so whether you want to be in charge of like drinks, which we're bringing and buying everything, we just need somebody there to help set up. Whether you just want to cook or whatever, I don't mind cooking, but my problem is I'm usually talking to everybody and I get in trouble because Wayne knows.
You remember JP, man. I'm telling you, that was the best Chinese food I've ever had in my
Dude, we had an absolute blast.
Yo,
we laughed nonstop.
Oh my, laugh and ate. And then I feel did we get Chinese food, go out and then eat somewhere else after? I don't remember. I just
Yep. That was
I had chicken
still got
too,
that
by
shirt.
the way.
Thank you, JP.
Yes.
JP.
I had chicken.
Jared, will the 49ers trade for a defensive end today? What do you say? Yes or no?
So what Jared is really asking us, John, is are we getting Derek Barnett? I think that's the only defensive end you would be looking to trade for. No. You got the best defensive player waiting to be signed. I don't think the 49ers make any silly moves. Not to say that would be silly, but it would kind of be a slap in the face of depending on what you get it for. I mean, if you get him on a dirt low cheap, I mean, then you kind of do it, but he won't be dirt low cheap.
I loved his tape. The penalties are an issue. He's got, some anger issues, no doubt about that. I don't mind that actually. But it's the biggest position of need. I wish we would trade. The longer time goes by, the less likely that's going to be the case. I'm over here refreshing, man, nonstop and just waiting to see. But yeah, we'll see there. We'll see there. So stuff just to pay attention to. I'm excited about a lot of things. Now, I want to get to you tweeted this out. And if you don't follow Wayne, I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, the dude is just a madman on every single freaking website. Whatever you use,
that's
you
actually,
follow Wayne.
I need a madman emoticon or whatever you call it. I need that as my avatar. Madman. I like that.
I'm thinking
like the Mad King.
Man.
I was thinking Mad King when you said Madman.
There you go.
Back to Game of Thrones, guys. Sorry. Go ahead, John.
There you go. All right. We got to get you those long white dreads like they had in the House of the Dragon. I'm just saying. All right. You tweeted out how many of the Niners' 9 draft picks make this roster.
Yes.
So I'm just going to ask you. You give me they're making it, IR, pup, cut. Okay.
Say less. Let's do it, baby.
Ji'Ayir Brown. He's not even going to answer.
That's my cousin. He's making it.
Making it. Jake Moody.
He's making it. He's making it. He's making the roster.
You think he goes on IR after he makes it and misses 4 games, or do they just keep him?
I think that's the plan. You put him on IR. It's only 4 games, and he's good to go.
Look at Shotjay.
Burn them all! Get the dragon! Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry. I got to go rewatch it. I'm going to go binge.
All right. Cameron Latu.
He's not going to make this roster.
Season-ending IR, stash him for a year, bring him back next year.
Curious to know why they haven't announced it yet, though. That's the. They could have. I know he's getting a second opinion on the meniscus knee surgery, but if the Niners already kind of like declared that he was going to need that,
I don't think Shanahan cares.
I love the way you think. All right, go ahead. Next,
Darrell Luter.
Pup.
Robert Beal Jr. Haven't even seen this dude.
I feel like as a 5th round pick, he gets it and then he gets stashed. They did this kind of last year with a linebacker. Like, I feel like they might do it with an edge rusher. We don't have that many.
It's
And
our
so
weakest position on
it's
the
the
team.
weakest position, and I know we haven't seen him play a practice, right?
Nope.
But I think you take that, you give him the IR, you give him the 4 weeks, and you call it a day.
Yep, there we go. Ronnie Bell,
Making it.
Braden Willis.
Making it.
Oh, Jalen Graham.
Making it.
Oh, woo. That is it. So you have the only one you don't have making it is Cameron Latu, and then Daryl Luter. They're both still going to stay with the team, but neither would count against the 53. And you said you've been running this whole thing. Shanahan does tricky stuff. You've been saying it nonstop, Wayne.
It's his MO, right? It's like a defense attorney. That's the best way I can. The reason why they get paid the big bucks is because they find the loopholes in the law. And I think, the reason why Bill Belichick, in my opinion, is probably one of the greatest or the greatest head coach of all time. I know he hasn't won anything since Tom Brady era, but it's because of the way he's able to kind of like manipulate the system. And I just see Kyle Shanahan right on that same, like I see him there already in year 7. Isn't that crazy? Like he's already figured out how to manipulate the system by the wording and, well, you said we could do this and we could do that. I mean, remember right before he announced about Trey Lance being who he announced who quarterback 2 was, he didn't read the loopholes. And then as soon as he read the rules, he had to make his announcement, and then boom, they made move. So I think Kyle's notorious for that. He'll find a way to stash players. He'll find a way. He also figures out ways not to put film out there so he can stash players. Kyle Shanahan is kind of like the GOAT at that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I can't.
Oh, my gosh. Did somebody say that?
Yes.
Somebody said that in the chat. Oh, my God. I'm missing it, but that is, there it is. Brash. If it doesn't fit, you must. That is incredible. Love Lee. He asked this: do you think that there's a lot of strategy in the timing of announcing the Bosa signing?
That's a good question.
That deal hasn't been done. Bosa on reserve. We have an extra roster spot today. I would have taken Bosa a week before and no roster spot because he's so pivotal. The 53rd man on this roster is not worth a week of extra practice for Bosa against the teammates, in my opinion. Now, we're here. So, yeah, you don't want to announce the Bosa thing now. You'd much rather announce it Wednesday. But if that Bosa deal isn't announced Wednesday, you are in red alert, dangerous territory.
It's going to be damn, Bosa and the Niners. Damn. That's what am I supposed to say? Like, can't be mad at Bosa, can't be mad at the Niners. Just mad at the timing and the situation.
Just be mad. That's all it is. And that's how we get the Mad King. Brunel says, question, if we do trade for a kicker, will Zane Gonzalez get released? Yes. Because if we release him, the trade reverts that we got him for, which was a 7th round pick swap and partial salary. So if we release Zane Gonzalez at any time, we don't do the pick swap. And we don't pay any of the salary that goes back to the Panthers. So,
and another loophole in the system. Like, you got to understand, Kyle is reading. Kyle, Parag, that front office, tier 1. They just weird how they handle certain things. That's all.
Yes. Now, before we get to some more questions, we got a lot of good stuff, and I've got some starred comments in here. Look, if you're betting and want to make some money this year, we got you. So excited to announce for a 5th consecutive year, we are partnering with MyBookie. And if you do not bet on the 49ers games, I don't know what you're missing. We have posted profits 5 consecutive years, and we share the majority of our bets. We'll preview some of those here on the show, over on our Patreon account, and on the 49ersrush.com. We will detail all of those. We'll hold your hand. We'll walk you through the process. We'll give you what to bet, how much to bet, all those things. Come along for the ride. And here's the thing that I say the most. This increases your fan experience. All you got to do is go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 49ers, 49ERS, and you get up to $1,000 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Or just click this QR code right next to me if you're watching, or the link in the description of this audio podcast. They got you covered. As always, with free plays and bonus deposits, there is a rollover that applies, meaning you have to bet a certain amount of times to get that free money, the deposit money out. But we're going to do... If you bet with us, we'll cover that, and hopefully you will make some money. So head over there, mybookie.ag, promo code 49ers. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime with MyBookie. And those bets, I think I've posted 28 season-long bets. Those are up on the 49ersrush.com and on Patreon as we speak. Look at this. We got some more East Coast guys, Wayne. 490s checking in, forklift shipping out those pool supplies here in Rochester, New York.
Woo, that's far up there. Woo.
There we go. That's Rochester. You got to add all those extra things. 490 Gold Mine, that's what's up. Keep rocking, y'all. Appreciate you, man.
I keep telling you my story about Rochester. You do you know the story about? So I brought my son tickets to the Lego World, right? And it said New York, right? And it said Rochester. So I'm like, cool, it's in New York. We can go, bam, bam, and then I could go to my show. So after I purchased the tickets, I put the address in my GPS. That shit was like 8 hours. I was like, wait a minute, where the heck? I live right here. What part of New York is
going up
8?
to Buffalo?
Bro, I did not know where Rochester was until that day. That day, if I see anything with Chester at the end, I just stay away from it, man. Just don't go. Just won't do it.
That is awesome. Yeah, kickers getting released. The Rams just waived their kicker, Tanner Brown. We've got Brett Myers released. There's lots of kickers floating around. No need to trade or pay top end. Get you a cheap kicker. Thank you, Peachy. You are the absolute best. I absolutely love this. This is awesome. So, shout out to Johan, the Irishman. There could be an Irishman in the NFL this season. Oh, that would be nice. I love the international player exemption stuff. I just think that is incredible. And, you know, we've got Alfredo Gutierrez with our team, and he does not count. He'll get cut and waived, but they'll be allowed to bring him on the practice squad. And, Wayne, I think this is where you were talking about the 17th practice squad earlier.
Could be.
The roster exemption on the international player doesn't
there
count.
It is.
So
a freaking language.
Again, and I was wrong.
No, you were right. But the right term is the international player takes up a extra solidified roster spot. I think that's kind of, practice squad spot, excuse me. And I think that's kind of what it is.
Right. Now, we had this question earlier in the week, and I texted you. I was away from my computer, so I could put it in my notes. So I just texted Wayne. I was like, hey, we're going to talk about this later this week. In a little bit of NFL conversation, I did this personally on my show yesterday. Here's what Nick B asked. In each conference every year, one team goes from last place to first place. Happens every year in the NFL.
Every year.
There's 8 divisions. There's 8 teams eligible for this. So the question here is, I'll go through all 8 of the teams. Which team, in your opinion, Wayne, and it might be more than one, I only had one, will go worst to first? Okay, so the Jets, these are all the last place teams last year. Jets, Browns, Texans, Broncos in the AFC. Commanders, Bears, Falcons, Cardinals in the NFC. In your opinion, which team will be most likely to go from dead last to first place in their division?
I think the AFC, I think the Jets, they've made some substantial changes. They now have a solidified all-pro Hall of Fame quarterback. They have the weapons. They have the defense. I think Saleh is going to be pushing. I know they're in the AFC East, and I know it's going to be tough to beat Miami and Buffalo and even New England. Those games would be weird, them AFC East games, them divisional games. But I think the Jets and the AFC have the best chance of going from worst to first. Now, in the NFC, can you tell me those teams again? I heard Cardinals, so I'm Xing them off the list automatically.
So, yeah, Commanders went 8-1 last year. They were in last. Bears 3-14. Falcons 7-10. They were 1 game out of first place last year. And Cardinals 4-13.
Was not the Cardinals.
Commanders, Bears, Falcons.
It's not the Commanders.
Commanders, Falcons.
That's tough because I'm not sold on Ritter, but I mean they got a weapon at the running back spot. But I feel like something about those Bears are going to be different. I know they're Chicago Bears, but I think it could be the Bears getting first in their division.
Ooh. Going from 3 wins. I mean, they lose 12
listen,
straight?
Look at that conference. It's the Packers, it's the Vikings, it's the Bears, and whoever the hell else. I'm always missing the team. Why? Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions. Right. So can they beat off the Lions? Possibly. I mean, Justin Fields has a sure wide receiving weapon in DJ Moore. And I know he sucked last year with the Panthers, but the whole team sucked. He looks good. He looked really good in preseason. Scared me with a little injury. But I think it could be the Bears. I'm going with the Bears.
I like it. I went Falcons just because, one, I think their roster got a lot better. That's the worst conference in football. And if you check their schedule, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL by a mile.
I like that.
The Bears, if Justin Fields kind of does, improves just a little bit as a passer, I think they can be competitive there. He just got to limit those turnovers. I think for currently, Fields has the highest turnover ratio of any quarterback in the history of the NFL. I was reading like fumbles and interceptions. Just he can protect the ball just a little bit. Then yeah, no doubt, very talented.
I think the difference you see with Justin Fields this year is it's not put all on him anymore, and he has help. And so when I look at Justin Fields, he's always trying to make a play. He's always trying to run. He's always holding on to the ball. But now they're going to add that quick throw game into his repertoire with getting a guy like DJ Moore who can catch a screen and take it to the house. I don't know. I could be wrong. And I don't mind being wrong. I really don't give two flying fucks about whoever. Like, as long as the Niners finish first, it's the only thing I care about. But I do love the exercise. I like the Bears as that team. It's going to be tough, them Lions in that division. And Minnesota's no stout either. I mean, they're tough. But I think the Bears will turn their stuff around.
I like it. Back to some Niners questions. Thomas Luttrell, he says, y'all think Knight kicks Oliver off the roster, or does money talk in the 49ers' mind? Yeah, I mean, Oliver has such a huge contract hit, cap hit. If you cut him, you actually lose money. If you cut him, you lose more money. So he's making this roster, I think, even though his play does not dictate it. That's looking like a bad signing so far.
It's not panning out, but he's a Steve Wilkes guy, and I'm curious to see how long Steve Wilkes allows. I think he makes the roster. He takes up a roster spot for me. I think he makes the roster.
Yeah. Right here, Nick B. Oh, we just read your question, brother. He says, is Kevin Givens getting cut? Our D-line depth is not good. They gave him $2 million. He ain't getting cut. I don't
know, man. He ain't played well either. So
he played awful.
I've watched the 49ers give Nate Sudfeld $3 million and let his ass go.
Yeah, there you go. I will say this, though. Kevin Givens, and I've screamed this since we've had him, he's a matchup-dependent defensive tackle.
Yes, sir.
You can't play him against power teams.
That's it.
And when you do, you're going to get screwed. He's matchup guy. He's a slasher. If a team does duo, he's going to get destroyed. He's too small. So you got to be smarter with them in the preseason. You don't really give a damn. You're not, look, you just go play. But I still think Kevin Givens provides value. You just can't play him against power teams. That's just, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Big Papa says, betting on Shanahan's meritocracy. If he holds true to this, guys like Isaiah Oliver and Kevin Givens should be released based on how they played. But at the end of the day, the numbers matter. Yeah, I don't know. Would you take Q Knight over Oliver?
I mean, if I'm basing it off of play, yeah. I mean, I'd rather see the young kid go out there and take his crack at it. But I just think Oliver is going to be the guy, and he's a matchup guy too.
Yeah.
If they put tight ends in the slot, if they put the bigger body wide receivers in the slot, that's who you want out there. I'm sorry, I feel like he plays better against that. But the slot guys, they're putting shifty, quick guys out there, man. And that's where I feel like he's been stumbling, bumbling, and fumbling, and so. And he's not tackling well either. So I'm curious to see what happens. You heard Steve Wilkes talked about using him in certain matchups. So we'll see. we'll see. This could be why Diamador Lenore has been taking a lot of reps at the nickelback position.
There you go. And Nick, I think that there's room for everybody. He says, I'd rather have a heavier Kalia Davis or Marlon Davidson. I think there's room. If they keep 6 defensive tackles, I think those are your 6. Hargrave, Armstead, Kindlaw, Givens. Then you got Kalia Davis and Marlon Davidson. Those 6, I feel pretty comfortable with.
I don't think Kalia Davis makes this roster, and I'm taking Marlon Davidson over Kevin Givens. Same. And I'm going to add T.Y. McGill in there.
He's my 7th. So, yeah, we'll see because, he's the older vet. I didn't think that he had a good preseason or training camp, but, yeah, he's put up some good tape for the Niners. He came in last minute and filled in, did really, really well.
Yeah, like last year, just came in.
I like it. Wayne, any closing remarks before we jump out of here, my friend?
No, man, I was hoping we would have been able to break some damn news. So my eyes were to the streets of X, but unfortunately, nothing's popped off yet. The Niners won't release stuff until 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Danny Shelton just got released. The defensive
now that's
lineman.
A defensive tackle I wouldn't mind picking up.
You want bulk? That's the definition of bulk. The old UW guy.
That I would not mind that. The question is, how much would he cost?
Yeah, he's a vet. So with him, you have to negotiate a contract. He's a free agent, so you don't get him on waivers. If you want him on your roster, you got to sign and you got to pay him. So,
boom.
There you go. All right, that's going to do it for us. Appreciate you guys. And, when are we recording on your show this week, Wayne?
It should be Friday.
Friday?
This Friday, yeah.
Do we do what time am I doing it? Do you know?
The same time. Same
time, 10 a.m. All right, I love it. All right,
that's
Wayne, take us out of here when you're ready, buddy.
You guys have been amazing faithfuls throughout this offseason, throughout the preseason, and get ready for the regular season so we can get to the postseason. Stay strong, faithful. We out.
Go.